So I was just riding along as you do, and it was pretty late because nowadays I'm pretty sleepy, so there were a decent amount of cars out on the road, which despite cycling on the road for well over 2 years, still kind of scares me, which is normal I guess, the fear of death. Anyways, I was doing about 30 kilometers per hour, which is about, I don't know, 18 miles an hour or something. Then this guy in a BMW came up beside me, honked at me for some reason. Then I looked over and I noticed that his turn signals were on. Then I looked ahead and I was like... So yeah, thankfully I was able to slam my brakes and avoid dying, but like, why? First of all, I was all the way on the yellow line, which, not gonna lie, was a stupid move because cars just treat you like shit when you're on the yellow line. Like, I've noticed that when I ride in the middle of the lane, cars actually move onto the other lane to overtake. But when I ride near the yellow line or on the yellow line, they don't give a shit. So just ride in the middle of the lane for your own safety. Now where I live, unless I'm wrong, the recommended gap to leave for overtaking cyclists if you're a car or a truck or whatever is 1.5 meters, which honestly is plenty. 1 meter is good enough, in my opinion. But when riding near the yellow line, some cars overtake terrifyingly close. I'm not even kidding. If I had Chris Froome elbows, I would have been smashed into on multiple occasions. Okay, back to the previous part. So after he overtook me with less than half a meter, he honked, which is like, bruh. Then he just turned and it's like double bruh. In racing they call it shutting the door, which is a dick move. But after I unshat myself, I was furious and I gave him the Mark Cavendish one finger salute. Oh, also, just because I'm a cyclist doesn't mean I'll defend other cyclists. So here are some stuff I hate other cyclists doing. Number 1, running red lights. Why? Is it that hard to just squeeze your brakes? What do you have, baby hands? You have Dura-Ace hydraulic disc brakes R98,000 or whatever it's called. Just squeeze it a little bit and then twist your ankle inwards or outwards or whatever. Then put your foot down, or if you're an XC rider, just grind it all the way. Like, is it that hard? You're ruining it for everyone. You're making cyclists from having a shit reputation to an even shitter reputation. Just stop it, man. Like, I stop at the traffic light and then the guys behind me are just like, meow. And it's like, what the hell? And the car behind me is like, and then I'm like, and it's just ridiculous. Next up is pulling out in front of other cars. Now, I like to ride in quite not so popular cycling areas because it's nice and quiet, but I've seen like twice now where idiots just pull out in front of vehicles. The first time I was at a traffic light and this guy pulled up beside me and I was like, oh, sick Oakley cartos, man. And he's like, oh yeah, thanks buddy. Then when the light turned green, I watched him filter through cars onto the other side of the road to make a turn. Except it was like filtering peanut butter through a straw. Like, I saw him pull out in front of a car that was doing 50 kilometers per hour and it's like, why? First of all, again, you're ruining the fun for a cyclist. And secondly, do you want to die? Yeah, but the second time was worse, somehow. So I was riding in a group of like 10 or something, unintentionally because I'm just slow and they just caught up to me. Then we were reaching this like fork in the road. So basically on the right was a flyover, so it just goes up and over the junction, so you don't have to stop for it. And on the left was the road leading to the junction. Now because I'm a wuss and I don't want to die, I went left towards the junction because the flyover is super fast and super scary and all that. But I knew that the group was going to go right. So I checked over my shoulder and there was like this whole train of cars flying past. And the guy at the front of the group, who's like the leader or something, he was like, clear. And the rest of the mindless sheep in the group were like, oh yeah, it's clear. Now this one doesn't annoy me, but it's just straight up illegal in my country. But riding in groups of 40, I'm not even kidding. On multiple occasions, I've seen groups of over 40 cyclists riding together. Like, holy shit, man, how do you even find 40 friends? Anyways, the reason why it's illegal is because in my country, guess what is the maximum amount of people permitted in a group of cyclists? 5. 5 cyclists per group. Now, granted, this rule only applies next year, so January 2022 or something, I don't know. Not that it matters, as due to the virus, the maximum allowed is still 5. So whenever I'm just riding along and a group comes up to me, I just drop all the way to the back. Because I'd rather lose about 20 seconds of my time rather than $150. So imagine a police car catching that group of 40. Let's do the math here. So 40 cyclists times $150. Holy shit, $6,000. Also, because cycling is increasing in popularity where I live, the government applied some rules for cyclists, which, first thing first, I just want to say, I fully agree on these rules, because not following these rules can lead to serious injury or just straight up death. So here's the rules and how much you can get fined if you don't follow them. Exceeding 10 to 25 kilometers per hour depending on which type of pavement you're riding on. $1,000 fine or 3 months jail. Using your phone while cycling. $1,000 fine or 3 months jail. Not having a white front light and red rear light. You guessed it, $1,000 fine or 3 months jail. Using handlebars wider than 70 centimeters or 27.5 inches. $5,000 or 3 months jail. Taking your hands off the handlebars, $5,000 or 6 months jail. But these are just some of the things that you can't do. There's also other things like not using hand signals and all the other basic stuff. But yeah, some might say it's too harsh, but in my opinion, and this is coming from a cyclist, these rules are good and should have been implemented years ago. The only one I kind of disagree on is the hands of the bars, as well. Sometimes I just want to, scratch my back. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that. Do you know why I pulled you over? It's because I wanted to scratch my back. No, 6 months of jail, you criminal. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you have been entertained and have learned something. But as always, I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.